Well, fans are ready for game 2 of this doubleheader between the Blue Crabs and the Charleston Dirty Birds as Jack Sundberg digs in. And the first pitch is low for ball 1.
Tonight's first pitch is brought to you by the Pitch Sports Bar and Grill located in Dunbar, Kanawha City.
Southern Maryland Blue Crabs lost game 1 by a score of 6-5. They led the game at one point as the 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss as Sundberg goes down to a knee swinging at that pitch. And the count 1-1. Sundberg has seen his on-base streak extend to 31 games after reaching earlier today. And here is the 1-1 pitch. That's up and away. Count 2 balls and a strike. Sundberg restraps the batting gloves and digs in. Sundberg reached 3 times in game 1, 2 walks and a base hit. And the 2-1 pitch. That's low and in, count 3-1. First pitch came in at 10:20 in the evening. As we're getting set for another 2.5 hours or so. Might wrap things up around 1 a.m. The Blue Crabs had a game earlier this season end at 2 a.m. We're going to run you through the batting order in just one moment, along with the defensive alignment for both teams. And the 3-1 pitch, it's ball 4, and get this, it's Jack Sundberg who extends that on-base streak to 32 games. Sundberg just keeps on reaching base. It's really quite incredible what he has managed to do.
Bingo alert, and 39.
32 consecutive games where Jack Sundberg has reached base. It's Michael Baca who now digs in. He went 0 for 5 back in game 1. We had a chance to talk with him before the game. Pitch on the ground towards second. It's under the second baseman's glove and into center field. Sundberg darts to third base. It's a single for Michael Baca as the second baseman, Scotty Burcham, couldn't quite get there. And there's now runners on the corners with nobody out for Braxton Lee as the Blue Crabs look to get the offense started early in game 2. Back in game 1, the Blue Crabs suffer the loss 6-5 as the runner on second base, the inherited runner, ended up scoring. There are 4 games that are now final across the Atlantic League. We'll run through the other scores from around the league in just a couple of moments. And the pitch that gets by Braxton Lee, holding at third base, it's Jack Sundberg, but advancing from first to second now, Michael Baca. You got all sorts of insects flying around. One's flying right in my face. Didn't mean to get rid of that insect, but he's gone anyway. To the right of my eye. So, well, that's what's going to happen. Runners on second and third, and nobody out for Braxton Lee. And the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss, count 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out. Glad you could all join us for game 2 of the doubleheader. Wes Mumper with a comment here that back in the first game that we'll get to in just a minute. Count 2-1 now as the 1-1 pitch is low. Nobody out, top of the first inning. First 2 batters reach for the Blue Crabs. Here's a 2-1. Line drive, foul, third base side, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes now on Braxton Lee. So he said, Wes Bumper said it reminds him of that game, the game that the Blue Crabs played against the Lexington Legends in game 2 of a doubleheader. Pitch, ground ball, third base line. It's going to go all the way to the wall for extra bases. Baca scores from second. Sundberg from third. It's a 2 RBI double. And the Blue Crabs have a 2-0 lead in the top of the first inning. Big time play there as that ball just tiptoed that third baseline. It was called fair by the third base umpire, Andy McPherson. He was a home plate umpire back in game 1. And the Blue Crabs have a 2-0 lead here in game 2 of the doubleheader. Top of the first inning, the Blue Crabs come through with a pair of runs. And you could tell visibly upset. Both Billy Horn and the catcher here in game 2, Tyler Blum. Blum had the game-winning hit back in game 1.
Hitter number 14, David Harris.
And David Harris kicks around some dirt. Now draws a line in the dirt. Two runs score for the Blue Crabs. It's 2-0 Southern Maryland. Meanwhile, Jack Sundberg sees his streak extended to 34 games. 32 games, I beg your pardon. And the pitch is upstairs now to David Harris, who's in the lineup here for game 2. I said I was going to run you through the other games around the league that are completed. High Point and Gastonia were rained out. And now Max Tannenbaum, the pitch. Swinging a high fly ball, well struck, deep right field. This one back in front of the warning track. And Williams is there. He makes the catch, tagging from second to third. It's Braxton Lee. And there is one away.
0-71.
Well, here in game 2, let's give you the starting lineups for both teams. Jack Sundberg led things off. He walked. Michael Baca picked up a single. Put runners on the corners. Braxton Lee then with runners on second and third with a double down the third baseline. It gave the Blue Crabs a 2-0 lead. David Harris, a deep fly out to the track in right field. Alex Crosby bats fifth. He steps in now as the first pitch is top foul. And the count 0-1. Zach Collier in the sixth spot. He's in center field. Joe DeLuca bats seventh. He's at first base. Ian Yetzko bats eighth today. He's at second base. And Mike Falsetti is doing the catching. He bats ninth. Jared Walker out of the lineup for game 2 of this doubleheader. 0-1 pitch. It's away in the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Sort of gives you a picture of what a close to full strength lineup might look like. And it's sort of unclear where some different players sort of mix into this lineup. We'll get there in a moment. 1-1. On the ground, through the right side for a base hit. Alex Crosby singles to right. Braxton Lee scores from third. And the Blue Crabs have a 3-0 lead in the top of the first inning. Braxton Lee scores from third, and Southern Maryland has a 3-0 start.
Now batting center fielder number 8.
As Zach Collier digs in. Max Tannenbaum is off to a tough start. Not what he was looking for. And the Blue Crabs are going to go with Daryl Thompson. Tannenbaum, first pitch, up and away, count 1-0. Base paths, I beg your pardon, runner on first base. I was going to say base paths empty, but the window was shielding my view from Alex Crosby, who had a short lead at first base. And the 1-0 pitch, a big swing and a miss. So runner on first, 1 out. Blue Crabs with 3 runs here in the top of the first. Tannenbaum's been in the upper 80s, and he's been hit around pretty hard. 1-1 pitch. Up and away, count 2-1. We've got the exit velocity numbers. Funny enough, the only extra base hit, which was that from Braxton Lee, it was the lowest exit velocity, just under 80 miles an hour. It wasn't all that hard hit, but just perfectly placed down that third base line. Meanwhile, Baca hit it 93, Harris 92, and Crosby 94. This one is swung on and popped up in the infield. That is the shortstop, Diego Goris, who is there, and there are 2 away.
Big alert, G55.
Runner on first base with 2 outs in the top of the first as Joe DeLuca comes to the plate. Some late night at bats here. Top of the first inning. Past 10:30 in the evening as the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs now have a 3-0 lead over the Charleston Dirty Birds. By the time that this game's finished, you get on the bus, it'll probably be right around 2 a.m. by the time this team arrives back at the hotel tonight, maybe later. Pitch on the ground toward first base. Edwin Espinal fields. He'll step on the bag, and that ends the inning. Well, the Blue Crabs scored 3 runs on 2 hits at the end of the top of the first inning. The Blue Crabs have a 3-0 lead. When we come back, Daryl Thompson takes the mound for Southern Maryland on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Big alert, N32.
This is Daryl Thompson, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Oh, Daryl Thompson takes the mound in the bottom of the first inning. The first pitch is a little upstairs for ball 1, and the count 1-0 on Scott Kelly. 3-0 Blue Crabs in the bottom of the first inning. The 1-0 low, and the count 2-0. Well, Daryl Thompson comes into this ball game with a 3.69 ERA. Record of 12-3 across 158 innings. Pitch called strike, and the count 2 balls and 1 strike now in the bottom of the first inning. Two-one. Swing and a fly ball, foul. First base side, count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Thompson on the year across 158 innings has 105 strikeouts, 20 walks, and a 1.13 whip. 2-2 pitch, inbound. Swinging a ground ball, hard hit, nicely fielded in the backhand by Baca at shortstop. He fires the first in time to get the speedy Kelly, and there's one away.
Bingo alert, I-21.
We'll give you some of the information on the defensive alignment and the starting lineup for the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Or the starting lineup for the Charleston Dirty Birds, I should say. Scott Kelly, he bats first. He's in center field. Scotty Burcham was the 9-hitter back in Game 1. He bats second here in Game 2. Edwin Espinal bats third. He's back at first base. The cleanup hitter is Alfredo Gonzalez. He's at third base. Pitch, that's outside in the count. No balls and 1 strike. Diego Goris is at shortstop. He bats fifth. Cosimo Canella is in left field. The 1-0 pitch, that's low on the count, 2-0. Miles Williams bats seventh. He's in right field. And Tyler Blum is the catcher. He bats eighth, while Liam Scafarello is the designated hitter. 2-0. On the ground through the left side for a base hit. Scotty Burcham singles with 1 out in the bottom of the first inning. And there's a runner on first for the Charleston Dirty Birds.
Bingo alert at 35. Now batting.
Here comes Edwin Espinal. Well, Daryl Thompson, especially recently, he's been a bit up and down. 7 innings, 7 hits, 6 runs. That was against Wild Health, and then against York, 6 2/3 innings, 6 runs. Prior to that, his numbers this month were outstanding. His first 3 starts this month, he had thrown 25 innings, allowing just 3 earned runs. His last 2 starts, 13 2/3 innings, allowing 12 earned runs. It's been a tale of 2 halves here in the month of August. And it looks like Daryl Thompson wants to return to that first half of things, where his first 3 starts were tremendous. Across those 25 innings, he allowed a total of 11 walks plus hits. And the pitch, a called strike, so a whip of about 0.42 across the first 3 starts. And across the last 2 starts, numbers were not in that arena at all, as he'd allowed 20 walks and hits across just 13 2/3 innings. A whip of about 1.5 as the 0-1 delivery is fouled back from Edwin Espinal, and the count 0-2 on the righty. Well, those of you who are tuned in for Game 2, we appreciate it. Jerron Nathan says, why is it the first inning in 10 p.m.? And Melissa has answered the question. This is Game 2 of a doubleheader, and the rain delay got the first one started later. Always appreciate some of our friends in the YouTube chat helping others out. 0-2 pitch was fouled back, and the count remains 0-2 in the bottom of the first inning. 3-0 Southern Maryland. 3 runs on 3 hits in the top of the first. For the Blue Crabs, Jack Sundberg walked. Michael Baca singled. A double down the third base line from Braxton Lee. 0-2 on the ground to third. Fielded on the forehand by Crosby. To second for 1. Back on to first. Easily a 5-4-3 double play to end the bottom of the first inning. Nicely turned from Crosby to Yetzko to DeLuca. And plenty of time to get Edwin Espinal, who does not run well at all. And that ends the bottom of the first inning. The Blue Crabs have a 3-0 lead over the Dirty Birds on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Ryan Haug, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
go.
Ian Yetzko gets things started in the top of the second inning. 3-0 Blue Crabs. First pitch, ground ball, foul, third base side. Ian Yetzko will be followed by Mike Falsetti and Jack Sundberg. The Blue Crabs have a 3-0 lead in the top of the second inning. The Blue Crabs turned a 5-4-3 double play on Edwin Espinal to end the bottom of the first. 0-1 to Sundberg. I beg your pardon, to Yetzko. And that pitch is outside and the count 1-1. I was thinking Sundberg, he's in the hole. He'll follow Falsetti. And speaking of Jack Sundberg, he has a 32-game on-base streak now. 1-1 pitch. That's off the outside corner. Count 2-1. And it's really just the consistency from Jack Sundberg that sets him apart. We've been tracking this on-base streak for the past 10 games or so, and it's remarkable. It's usually early in these ball games that he's getting on to. It's not leaving it up to chance as the 2-1 pitch is low and away, count 3-1. There was one game that waited until the 7th inning. And then he extended the streak with a walk. But for the most part, it's been first or second time up to the plate when he's gotten on. 3-1 pitch now to Yetzko. Swinging a high pop-up in the infield. It's the second baseman, Scotty Burcham, who tracks the ball and makes the catch overhead for the first out.
Bingo alert, B9.
And here comes Mike Falsetti. He was taking some swings back in game one of this doubleheader, should he have needed to come in for the pitcher, James Dykstra, but the Blue Crabs opted to keep Dykstra in and go to have him hit the ball. Have Dykstra hit and stay in the game. There was only one out at the time. The runners on first and second. There were later runners on second and third as they executed a double steal. Pitch up and in the count 1-0. Dykstra was ahead in the count 3-0, ended up striking out. That was in the bottom of the 7th inning. He pitched the top of the 7th and the top of the 8th. Blue Crabs are very limited for arms right now in the bullpen. And go up and down that list. And it looks like they only have 3 or 4 healthy arms available. And after using 2 of them, I think you might only have 1 or 2 healthy arms available. 1-0 pitch. Called strike. Count 1-1. Just to give you an idea of who might be available here in game 2. As far as the bullpen is concerned, I think Daryl Thompson, the plan is for him to go the distance here. But Baker probably unavailable. He pitched in game 1. Briseño not available. 1-1 pitch, foul back to the netting as he's not 100% right now. James Dykstra unavailable. He pitched 2 innings back in game 1. Dalton Geeky on the injured list. He's unavailable. Matt Latos also unavailable here in this ball game as he's been out for the last couple of weeks. Dario Polanco is likely available, though he pitched a couple innings on Sunday. Cody Strayer is available. He warmed up back in game 1. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss at a pitch that might have been in the dirt, but probably wasn't. It looks like Falsetti's just out. He wanted to run to first base anyway. And there are now 2 away. And then Nick Wells, who might be available, though I don't think he is, because he was not warming up in game 1. I would have thought he would have been the next option for the Blue Crabs after Baker and Dykstra. So I don't think he is. You're left with Polanco and Strayer, and Polanco pitched again 2 innings on Sunday. So it brings up the question, is he available? He might not be. He might have to pitch on short rest should the Blue Crabs need him desperately. First pitch That's a called strike on the outside corner, and Jack Sundberg looks at it, sort of perplexed that it was a called strike. That one was much closer than the one that he was called out on strikes on. That ball, no, that was way out of the zone. It was about 4 or 5 inches out of the zone. Not even close. 1-0 pitch. That's definitely a ball. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. You know, the umpires in this league, there are good ones mixed in, but there have been a number of guys who, you know, the number of strikes that they call that are out of the zone is very, very high. 1-1 pitch, line drive foul, third base side. And the count 1-2, and just the pitches they've missed in general, especially the third base umpire, who was the home plate umpire in game 1, Andy McPherson, who he had a lot of really bad missed calls, especially in the 8th inning. 1-2 pitch upcoming to Sundberg. Here's the offering. It's low in the dirt, and the count 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, or 1 ball, no, 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the 2nd inning. 3-0 Blue Crabs. As the 2-2 pitch inside, count 3-2. And Jack Sundberg walked earlier in this ball game, and that now sets him that much further apart at the top of the walks list in Blue Crabs history. 77 walks in a single season. That's your record. The Blue Crabs have also seen Sundberg break another franchise record for most steals in a season. He's at 40 right now. 3-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. And Sundberg down swinging to end the inning. Well, we're finished with an inning and a half. The Blue Crabs are down in order in the top of the 2nd. We go to the bottom of the 2nd inning. It's 3-0 Southern Maryland on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Nick Wells, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Come stay at the Holiday Inn Express Waldorf, where teamwork makes the dream work. A proud sponsor of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs and your home away from home. The Holiday Inn Express is located at 11,370 Days Court. That's 11370 Days Court, Waldorf, near the Waldorf Shoppers World Shopping Center. Call 301-932-9200 to make a reservation, or look us up at ihg.com or on the IHG app. Come put your feet up and enjoy the complimentary free breakfast and indoor heated pool at the Holiday Inn Express, Waldorf. Well, after a 1-2-3 inning in the bottom of the 1st from Daryl Thompson, he's back on the mound here in the 2nd, and the first pitch is upstairs, the count 1-0. Well, the Blue Crabs have a 3-0 lead over the Dirty Birds here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. 1-0. On the ground, this one, fielded on the backhand by Yetzko up the middle, fires to first in time to get Alfredo Gonzalez, who runs well down the line.
Now the shortstop, number 8, Diego Gores.
There is one away in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Wes Mumper says he doesn't think Wells made the trip. That's a good point. I have not seen him yet on the trip. He might not have. I don't know. So that's sort of, again, further limits the Blue Crabs' options. First pitch low in the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Briseño is on the trip, as is Latos. But both of them unavailable tonight. 1-0 pitch, foul back to the netting in the count. 2 balls and no strikes. Blue Crabs will go to Alcides Herrera tomorrow night. And I think, although I can't be certain about this, you'd have to think the Blue Crabs desperately want him to go rather deep because, again, the bullpen's still going to be very limited tomorrow unless something changes. 1-1 pitch, top foul behind home plate. When this bullpen is back to full strength, when you've got Baker, Dykstra, Briseño, and Latos, those 4 options, and then add Geeky into that mix as well, you have 5 really solid options and 3 guys who are absolutely destroying this season. As the 1-2 pitch from Thompson, ground ball through the right side for a base hit, deflects off of DeLuca's glove briefly. It's a base hit for Diego Goris. As DeLuca had a little bit of trouble fielding on the backhand, and there's a runner on first base and 1 out. Certainly a hit. It was tough play for him. Hard hit ball. He had to move from first towards second base and try to backhand it. Cosimo Canella will dig in from the right side. Runner on first base and 1 out for Canella. Thompson comes set. And a foul tip, and we are receiving word, I guess, from Wes that exactly what's going on with Nick Wells. Wes Mumford's got the inside info that his jerseys are apparently hanging in his locker. Well, that tells you about all you need to know. I guess he's not on the trip then. I did not get that report. Also didn't hear that Briseño was out, but he is also out. So the Blue Crabs have Briseño out. They've got Latos, Wells, Geeky, and then Baker and Dykstra already pitched tonight. So you're down to Polanco and Strayer as your only 2 bullpen arms. 0-1. Up and in the count, 1-1. And we're not even sure if Polanco's available after pitching 2 innings on Sunday. I mean, I think you'd have to imagine he is, but you can't be certain. So I guess it's just Strayer after that, really. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, count 1-2. And it doesn't help that Dykstra pitched 2 innings tonight, because it puts in doubt his availability for tomorrow night. And I think Stan Clyburn is probably relying upon Dykstra to be available tomorrow night. But he threw about 30 pitches tonight. I'll give you the official numbers in a moment. 1-2 delivery. Oh, that one smacked off the bat of Canella, but foul on the count. 1-2 it remains. Dykstra threw 27 pitches, 20 strikes. Baker, 31 pitches, 19 strikes. I mean, it really calls into question either one of their availabilities for tomorrow. So you very well might be looking at exclusively, as the pitches foul back, having just Polanco and Strayer available tomorrow. They still might be the only 2 arms that are able to throw. We'll have to see if Briseño is good to go for tomorrow, but that was not the way it sounded based on the indications I was given. So one 1-2 pitch from Thompson, foul back to the netting, and the count remains a ball and 2 strikes. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. 3-0 Blue Crabs. Runner on first base for the Dirty Birds. A quiet night at Appalachian Power Park. And a toss over to first to check on the runner. The count, 2 balls and 2 strikes I can't count the people in the concourse because it's too hard to see them. But for everybody who I can see here is on the lower deck, we can count them on 2 hands here, I think. Well, I'm going to do my best. 1-2 pitch in the dirt, blocked by Falsetti. He can't find it now. He does get to the ball, but advancing from first base to second base, it is Diego Goris. I beg your pardon, that's Alfredo. No, it is Diego Goris. So Goris to second now. And Consimo Canella at the plate now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Thompson set. Here's the pitch. Foul back, and the count remains 2-2. Well, that wild pitch allows Diego Goris to advance to second base. It's a major play in this ball game, as it breaks up the double play ball. And now the toss to second base, nicely snagged by Baca to prevent that from going into center field, but the throw to second base forced Diego Goris back to the bag. It was a low throw from Thompson. It was actually a good throw, but it would have required the fielder to be there already, and Baca was just getting there at the time, and he still nearly tagged him out. 2-2 from Thompson. Breaking ball, hard hit right at the third baseman Crosby, who fires to second, not quite in time as Yetzko was there and covering, but a line out on a breaking ball that was hanging a little bit out over the plate. And a line right into the third baseman. It was good, it was looping, but it was still hard hit, and Miles Williams digs in. Williams hitting just 152. He was the DH in game 1. Had a couple of hits, including a 3-run home run. Goris on second. 2 outs, 3-0 Blue Crabs for Miles Williams, who gave the Dirty Birds a 3-1 lead in the top of the second inning back in game 1 as the pitches swung on and missed in the count 0-1. And you might be saying, you mean bottom of the first, bottom of the second? And no, it was the top of the second inning. The Blue Crabs are, of course, away from home, but they were the home team in game 1 as it was a rescheduled game from a game that was supposed to be played at Regency Furniture Stadium. 0-1 pitches inside, count 1-1. And the Charleston Dirty Birds aren't coming back to Southern Maryland, so the only option was the Blue Crabs play 2 here. So that's what they're doing. 1-1 delivery. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not, according to the first base umpire in today's ball game. That's Tom Disharoon. Greg Losh behind home plate, and Andy McPherson is over at third. Count 2-1 now. And now the 2-1 pitch, a wave and a miss as Thompson works back even 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on second base. Blue Crabs 3 runs on 3 hits. For the Dirty Birds, no runs on 2 hits. Thompson set. Here's the pitch. Popped him up behind home plate. And that ball finds the seats, actually finds the roof. Runner on second base, that's Diego Goris, who singled earlier in the inning. And the 2-2. Breaking ball, called strike 3. It freezes Miles Williams. He was looking fastball all the way. And Daryl Thompson drops in a breaking ball and completely freezes Miles Williams. It's strike 3, and that ends the bottom of the second inning. Well, the Dirty Birds have 1 hit. They strand 1 at the end of 2. It's 3-0 Southern Maryland on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. you in the market for a new roof? Well, give William Richmond Inc. a call and get serviced by Southern Maryland's premier roofing contractor. Locally owned and operated, William Richmond Inc. is licensed, bonded, and insured, and has a 5-star rating on HomeAdvisor. They care about their work almost as much as they care about your home. Call 443-432-3426 today for a free estimate, or go to williamrichmondinc.com. Don't forget to mention the Blue Crabs and save 10% on any service. Michael Baca steps in, and the first pitch is up and in from the Charleston Dirty Bird starter tonight, Max Tannenbaum. Tannenbaum, so far, 2 innings of work. He has allowed 3 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. Allowed all 3 runs back in the first. 3-0 Southern Maryland. Michael Baca steps back in from the right side. 2, 3, and 4 in the Blue Crabs order to come to the plate. And the 1-0. Called strike. No, called ball. No, it is called. This is one of the most bizarre pitches. I said it was a called strike. And then the home plate umpire, Greg Losh, didn't signal. So I said, no, it's outside. And then right as I was saying, no, it's outside, he then puts out the strike call. So it is 1-1. That's your count. Top of the 3rd inning. 1-1. Now, is that a strike? Is he going to give me a late signal? No, it's just low. That was pretty close as well. Count 2-1. Two balls, 1 strike on Baca. Here's the pitch. Ground ball foul toward the Blue Crabs dugout. The count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The AO sound effect coming up. I want some fans to get into it, but there just aren't enough here to do that. We're going to count the players in the lower deck, so we'll still get to that. 2-2 pitch is low and in, low and away actually, count 3-2. That'll be a fun exercise to do during this doubleheader. So we've got 2, then we've got 4, 5, 7. I've got 9. No, I think it's 10. I think we got to 10. No, I think we only have 9. Just 9. Oh, I missed 2. There are 2 over there. I think we got to 11. And the 3-2 pitch on the ground over to shortstop. Fielded by Goris. He fires to first. And there is 1 away. Also, a couple of fans on the concourse level, probably about 20. So I think in total you're right around 30 fans here. It's a quiet night. Quiet night at Appalachian Power Park. And if you've been here for a weekend game, you might be asking, quiet park, what? And that would be my reaction as well, because this place gets very rowdy for weekend ball games, especially Friday, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon as well, though. Pitch Ground ball slowly right in front of home plate. Braxton Lee's going to run this one out. Nicely fielded, though, by the catcher. That's Tyler Blum, who fires the first in time, and there are 2 away.
M33.
And we're on the top of the third, but think of it more like the top of the 5th inning, because this is a 7-inning ball game. The Blue Crabs ahead 3-0 as David Harris will step in. I think that everybody would appreciate a quick game 2 after a lengthy game 1. A couple of those partial swings from David Harris. I'm still yet to ask him about those swings. Harris was 0 for 1 back in game 1 of the doubleheader. Pitch upstairs in the count. 1 ball and no strikes. 3-0 Blue Crabs, top 3. Tannenbaum, 1-0. That's a called strike on the inside corner in the count. 1 ball and 1 strike. Coming into today's ball game, it was Max Tannenbaum who had a 4.96 earned run average, up to 5.25 after allowing 3 runs in the first. 1-0 pitch, or 1-1 pitch, I should say. And the count now 1-2. And the toast man says, fire up the toaster. He's got to start throwing me some toast. I mean, we only have 11 fans here, and there are only maybe 6 that are close to him. One of these might be somebody working here. And I did not count the toast man because he does not count. He's working. See, the cameraman doesn't count either. 1-2 pitch is low. Count 2-2. So again, it's a little tough because there are a couple of fans who are right in front of me. We have 3 fans there. You've got a family of 3 who's right in front of them. That's 6. I think there's another fan over there that makes 7. A couple of fans over here to my left makes 9, and then another 2 over by the dugout gets you to 11. So we're at 11 in the lower deck. There might be 1 or 2 others down the other end, so you might be up to 13. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Harris goes down swinging, and that ends the top of the 3rd inning. Well, Max Tannenbaum struggled in the top of the first. He surrendered 3 runs on 3 hits, but since then, back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings. At the end of 2.5, it's the Blue Crabs 3 and the Dirty Birds nothing on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Michael Baca, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Well, we go to the top of the 3rd inning. It is Tyler Blum, the 8-hitter, who will get things started for the Charleston Dirty Birds. Blue Crabs 3, Dirty Birds nothing, and the first pitch from Daryl Thompson is lifted foul. First base side, and the count 0-1. Blue Crabs scored 3 runs back in the first inning as they put up 3 runs on 3 hits and a walk. Braxton Lee with a 2 RBI double. Pitch. That was a little inside in the count 1-1. Awfully close though. 1 ball, 1 strike. Alex Crosby also drove in a run as Braxton Lee scored on an RBI single. 1-1 pitch, driven foul, first base side, count 1-2. And Tyler Blum digs back in, the catcher. Catching here in game 2 after Yovan Gonzalez was the catcher in game 1. Tyler Blum did pinch hit. And the 1-2, driven foul. First base side yet again, count remains 1-2, and boy was it a big pinch hit. In the 7th inning, the Blue Crabs got out of a jam. And we went to the 8th inning as it was extra innings, and James Dykstra, who pitched really quite well up until that point, 1-2 pitch, swinging on this, strike 3. Had retired the first 2 batters, but Tyler Blum came in the game. It was a controversial decision as well because Kevin Segrist, their star closer, exited. And what ended up happening was that Blum tripled down the right field line and drove in the go-ahead run, and the Blue Crabs could not respond in the bottom of the 8th. Left the bases loaded with 2 outs. Liam Scaparello steps in. First pitch called strike. Oh, we have a very emphatic call here. I mean, I'm not sure that's necessary. I mean, at 11:15 a.m., maybe our home plate umpire tonight feels the need that he's got to be loud and assertive because I'm not sure everybody would hear him otherwise as the 1-0-1 pitch is low. It's Greg Losh is our home plate umpire. And it's not merely strike, it is strike, which, you know, I mean, has its time and place. I'm not sure now is that time and place. 1-1, swing and a miss, and the count 1-2. Well, let's see if we have any other comments here. Susan H. says, same number watching here as in person there. I think that sounds about right. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss from Liam Scaparello. He goes down on strikes, and there are 2 away. 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd. As it's back to the top of the lineup, Scott Kelly will dig in for the Charleston Dirty Birds. This is the bullpen situation, the way it is now for the Blue Crabs. We've now talked about that at length. Has not been a problem all season long, really, for Southern Maryland. I can't recall a time when they come into a ball game and there are really only 2 guys who are available. It's the 2 guys the Blue Crabs have thrown the least this year. First pitch. It's close, a little away in the count 1-0. I don't recall that happening ever. 1 ball, no strikes. 2 outs on Scott Kelly. Here's the pitch. Lifted high in the air, shallow right. It's Braxton Lee who comes in and he makes the catch for the final out. Daryl Thompson retires the Charleston Dirty Birds in order. In the bottom of the 3rd inning, we're finished with 3. It's the Blue Crabs who have a 3-0 lead over Charleston. We go to the top of the 4th in the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Alex Crosby, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
At Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, mortgages are what they do, not who they are. Fairway Mortgage Corporation is a proud partner of the American Warrior Initiative. A key part of this initiative is to educate, encourage, and inspire Americans to give back to our military. Visit their website at www.americanwarriorinitiative.com for more details. Our military fought to protect the American dream. Let's help them live it. Top of the fourth inning. The pitch to Alex Crosby is up and away for ball one. The Blue Crabs have a 3-run lead, and Southern Maryland will send 5, 6, and 7 to the plate. Crosby 1 for 1 today. He had an RBI single back in the first inning to give the Blue Crabs a 3-0 lead. It scored Braxton Lee. 1-0, that's away, count 2-0. A 3-run first, that's the difference right now here in game 2 of this series. (2-0). Big wave and a miss, count 2-1. Crosby waves the bat behind his helmet. Here's the 2-1 pitch now from Tannenbaum. It's away, 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike, nobody out. And the top of the fourth inning. And now the 3-1 pitch. That's inside, it's ball 4. That pitch close, but called a ball by the home plate umpire Greg Losh.
Center fielder number 8, Zach.
It was not a strike. That one was close. I mean, no doubt. I'd like to see where it's pinpointed on our TrackMan. Might have caught the inside corner, but we'll have to see. As Alex Crosby comes to the plate. That last one was borderline. And now Crosby a long lead, and now I think he started to steal a little early, realized that he was going to get caught and dove back to the bag just in time. Edwin Espinal applied the tag. Close play, but he is safe at first as Crosby almost got himself picked off. Crosby, Collier, and then DeLuca due up in the inning. And the pitch, big wave and a miss, count 0-1. Blue Crabs have 3 hits among 12 batters in this ball game. Yetzko has, I beg your pardon, Sundberg has extended his hitting streak to 32 games. It's getting late at night here. As the 0-1 pitch is low, count 1-1. Apologize if I have any mistakes there. It's a little tiring as we get to 11:20 in the evening. A late start time, a long game 1 that found its way into extra innings. And then a 10:20 start time here in game 2. So we're an hour in, and now we're in the top of the 4th. Max Tannenbaum, pitch up and away, count 2-1. 1 on, nobody out. Collier, a .257 hitter, takes a couple of practice swings. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, count 2-2. And snap throw down to first to check on Crosby, who's back to the bag in plenty of time. Alex Crosby has seen his batting average fall more recently, but it was as high as .320 about a month ago, but August has not been kind to the lefty. Crosby's batting average during the month of August at just .195. Pitch to Collier is popped up in the infield. It's the shortstop, Diego Goris, who calls everyone else off and makes the catch for the first out right around shoulder high as Joe DeLuca will come to the plate.
Joe DeLuca.
The toast man is yelling about something. I can't quite tell what he's yelling about. We'll have to get his attention after the top of the 4th inning. Well, we were talking last time around that his completion percentage was low. He doesn't have a lot of people to throw the toast to. He's got to start throwing it up here. And the pitch. That is a foul tip into the mitt of the catcher. That's Tyler Blum, and the count 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out as Ian Yetzko is on deck. Oh, 1. That's away. Count 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Joe DeLuca will dig in from the left side. DeLuca, a .278 hitter, 9 home runs and .810 OPS. 0 for 1 in game 2. 1-1 pitch, check swing, he did not go. Count 2-1. Now a snap throw to first, and again Crosby back to the back. Very concerned about Alex Crosby, who has not stolen a base yet today. 14 for 15 on the season. He does run and runs rather well at that, but I'm not quite sure he's actually going to be going here. I mean, they might prove me wrong. He might steal right here, but it's not really the intent I've got. And now he's again, I think he's just playing mind games with Tannenbaum at this point. Taking 2 steps, then backpedaling toward the bag. Trying to distract Max Tannenbaum. I think he's probably finding some success at that. Tannenbaum has not had good control. 63 pitches, 31 strikes, 32 balls. A 2-1 pitch, a big wave and a miss from DeLuca, and the count 2-2. And there were a lot of pickoff attempts at first base in this at bat. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, top 4. Tannenbaum. 2-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. DeLuca down on strikes, had a couple of hits back in game 1, but goes down swinging. And now he's just going to start throwing out the Krabby Patties. I'm not quite sure if he might throw it over to, might bring one over to our broadcast booth. There's a good chance that he does give them. I've never had Krabby Patties. They're like, I'm not entirely sure what they are, honestly. Of course, I know them from SpongeBob, but I'm not entirely sure what they are as far as the candy is concerned. I'd imagine it's something like a gummy bear sort of thing, but the pitch is grounded foul, third base side. And Yetzko steps back in. And the pitch to Yetzko is driven high in the air, deep left center field. So back to the wall, it's off the wall. Crosby rounds third. He'll score from second. It's an RBI double from Ian Yetzko, and the Blue Crabs have a 4-0 lead. Yetzko drilled one to center field, and the Blue Crabs have added a run in the top of the 4th inning.
You have to give that to Joe.
And we've been given the Krabby Patties, which is a SpongeBob, yeah, I was right, gummy candy, that's what it is, like a gummy bear, except it's a Krabby Patty. Well, either way, Yetzko picked up a hit back in game 1. He blistered that ball, probably the hardest and farthest hit ball all game. Actually, no, check that. Back in game 1, Mike Williams had the 3-run shot off the video board. Aside from that, Yetzko probably has the hardest hit ball today, as that ball was smoked to left center. RBI as well for Yetzko, and the Blue Crabs have a 4-0 lead now. Yeah, 102 off the bat, a launch angle of 24 degrees, a distance of 378 feet from Ian Yetzko. Pitch, line drive, right field side from Falsetti. It tails foul toward the party deck. And the count 1-1. Blue Crabs 4, and the Charleston Dirty Birds a 0. So we get the Krabby Patties. I've never had these, as I mentioned moments ago. Yeah, it looks almost like Play-Doh. I'm not sure. I couldn't tell you. How about you all write in the YouTube chat if you've ever had Krabby Patties? I'd love to hear. 1-1 pitch, swinging a high fly ball, shallow left field. It's going to be playable for the left fielder who moves in and makes the catch. That's Cosimo Canella for the final out in the top of the 4th inning. Blue Crabs tack on another run, an RBI double from Ian Yetzko, and the Blue Crabs have a 4-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the 4th, the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Ian Yetzko, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Are you in the market for a new roof? Well, give William Richmond Inc. a call and get serviced by Southern Maryland's premier roofing contractor. Locally owned and operated, William Richmond Inc. is licensed, bonded, and insured, and has a 5-star rating on HomeAdvisor. They care about their work almost as much as they care about your home. Call 443-432-3426 today for a free estimate, or go to williamrichmondinc.com. Don't forget to mention the Blue Crabs and save 10% on any service. Well, Scott Burcham will get things started in the bottom of the 4th inning after Ian Yetzko expands the Blue Crabs' lead to 4-0. And here is the first pitch to Burcham. Swing and a miss, and the count 0-1. 4-0 Blue Crabs, 3 runs in the first, 1 run and the 4th. And Burcham digs back in. Here's the 0-1. That's away, count 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out. And here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, count 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out. See if we can get any responses in that YouTube chat to see if anyone has ever had Krabby Patties. Again, please, if you have or have not, just let us know. I'd love to hear. I certainly have never had this candy. Pitch. High fly ball, right field, not all that deep. And it is Braxton Lee who reels it in after taking only a few steps over to his right, and there are 2 away. And Susan Each says she's never had them, but the sugar crash isn't going to be good for me this late. Yeah, I think you're right. I really do. You know, I might need another coffee is what I need right now. I had one on the way back from the hotel, or the one from the hotel to the ballpark. That was like 8 hours ago, though. Breaking ball, first pitch, and it freezes Edwin Espinal. It's a called strike on the outer half, and the count 0-1. And the 0-1 pitch, high pop-up. Shallow right, it sends Braxton Lee in, and he makes the catch. A couple of flyouts to right to get things started for the Charleston Dirty Birds. 2 up and 2 down. And here comes Alfredo Gonzalez.
Now batting, the third pro cleanup hitter, third baseman number 10, Alfredo Gonzalez.
Blue Crabs 4 and Charleston nothing. Bottom of the 4th inning, first pitch foul back to Alfredo Gonzalez. And it seems like at this point that Daryl Thompson is being asked to throw a complete game across 7 innings. I mean, that very much seems to be the situation. He's only thrown 51 across 3 2/3. 0-1 now to Alfredo Gonzalez. Oh, a looping breaking ball. Called strike on the inside corner. The breaking ball from Thompson is really, really good. It is not hard. We're not talking about an 80-mile-an-hour curveball. This is 68, 69. And another breaking ball. This one is 66. And it's fouled off by Alfredo Gonzalez. The speed changes if you're looking fastball, even if it's only coming at 88, 89 miles an hour. And the 0-2 delivery. Even then, if you mix it up to 66, forget about it. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That one came in on a changeup. Haven't seen much of that from Daryl Thompson. And Alfredo Gonzalez is just sort of at a loss for words. He can't quite figure out what's just happened. And Daryl Thompson has struck him out to end the bottom of the 4th inning. It's his 4th strikeout of the game. He sends the Charleston Dirty Birds down in order again, 1, 2, 3 in the bottom of the 4th. When we go to the top of the 5th, the Blue Crabs have a 4-0 lead on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Ryan Haug, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Well, the Blue Crabs have a 4-0 lead as we go to the top of the 5th inning. Just hit right around 11:35 on the East Coast. We're right on schedule. I mean, you think about a baseball game, 3 hours long or so. You divide that by 9 innings, 180 minutes over 9 innings, about 20 minutes per inning. And And we've played 4 innings, so 80 minutes. So you start at 10:20. 80 minutes later is 11:40. It's 11:37. First pitch away in the count, 1 ball and no strikes. So right on schedule. I'm honestly a little surprised we're not moving even faster than that, as the 1-0 pitch is in there for a strike. Count 1-1 on the outer half. As Daryl Thompson has been so dominant. Pitch foul back in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Toast man trying to get that toaster fired up. Here is the 1-2. That's inside. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. You know, I do like the creativity of the toast man, though. I mean, everything from throwing out burnt toast to the 3 strikeouts. And that's how you get the candy. If he strikes out 3 times, he tosses out candy. 2-2 up and in. Did he go? Check swing. No, he did not. Did he say he went? Oh, that's absurd. Oh, no, no, no. That is one of the worst calls I've seen an umpire make all year long. And that is just terrible. I'm surprised Sundberg's not going to go up and argue and get himself probably thrown out of this ball game. It's that bad. I mean, the call from Andy McPherson might be one of the worst calls I've seen all year. That is terrible. I mean, that's really one of the worst. And we're going to watch it again on replay here, but I don't think that was anywhere close. There's 1 away in the top of the 5th. And McPherson has been the downfall to Sundberg in multiple times now.
Yeah, throw him out like you did over here.
Pitch popped it up, first base side. Edwin Espinal in foul territory, and he makes the catch. There are 2 outs now on the top of the 5th. The few fans that remain here in Charleston are awfully rowdy as they're yelling back at the umpires and everybody. They want whoever was yelling at the umpire to get thrown out. And honestly, the calls from Andy McPherson, he ought to be ashamed of himself. It's just really some terrible calls. It wasn't even close. I'm watching here on replay. He got out of the way of a pitch that was way up and in. The bat never got close to crossing home plate. He did. It wasn't even remotely close. And now a pitch way up and in on Braxton Lee, and he has to dodge his way out of the way. I mean, the call was just terrible. That one, oof. But either way, there are 2 outs now. Count 1-1. On Braxton Lee, and that one missed, I guess, a little in. Count 2-1. Andy McPherson is over at third base. He was the home plate umpire in Game 1 and made a number of atrocious calls. 2-1 pitch is outside. Count 3-1. You know, usually I don't give the umpires too tough of a time, but McPherson's performance tonight has been really, really bad. 3-1 pitch. And it's low, pretty close. And it's ball 4. I mean, McPherson, that strike 3 call, really, really bad. I mean, I don't think anybody in this building legitimately thought he went, except maybe McPherson. And I don't even know if McPherson did. And based on what he had a disagreement with Sundberg in the 9th inning. He called Sundberg out on strikes on a play where the pitch was 4 inches outside. And the track man confirmed that. First pitch upstairs, count 1-0 on David Harris. One-0 delivery. Line drive, right field, base hit. Lee rounds second. He's going to go to third. Runners on the corners now with 2 outs as Harris knocked a base hit the other way. And there are runners on first and third with 2 outs. As Alex Crosby will come to the plate.
Now batting third baseman number 15, Alex Crosby.
Top of the 5th inning, Blue Crabs ahead by 4, and they're threatening for more here on the top of the 5th. And it appears as though the Blue Crabs are exclusively interested in trying to get Daryl Thompson through 7 innings. It's actually a relief pitcher who entered the game, Casey Grimm. The lefty comes in for the righty, Max Tannenbaum. First pitch called strike. The count 0-1. The calls, I will say, from the home plate umpire here in Game 2 have been better. The home plate umpire for Game 2 has missed fewer calls. It's Greg Losh, your first base umpire, Tom Disharoon. And over at third base, it's Andy McPherson, who has, again, really just not had a good day today. 1-1 pitch low. Throw down to second base. Oh, they got him. And again, I don't think he's out there. McPherson calls David Harris out at second base. And I think he's got something going on here because I think Harris was safe there. It was a bang-bang play, but I thought he beat him. McPherson, every call seems to be going against the Blue Crabs. It's just from him, no one else. The other umpires have been calling this one straight up. But for whatever reason, the third base umpire, Andy McPherson, not seem to like what the Blue Crabs have been offering. And that ends at the top of the 5th inning. A caught stealing, David Harris thrown out at second base. And we go to the bottom of the 5th on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Michael Baca, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Diego Goris will come to the plate as we get ready to go in the bottom of the 5th inning. And the first pitch from Daryl Thompson, swinging a high fly ball, center field. This one not hit all that deep. It is Zach Collier who ranges from center to left center and makes the catch for the first out. There is one away. Following the out to Goris, here comes Casimo Canella.
Now batting, left fielder, number 24.
This one away.
Cosimo Canella.
Bottom of the 5th inning. Here is the first pitch from Daryl Thompson. Shows bunt, he pulls back, and it's a called strike. And the count 0-1. Bottom of the 5th inning, the Blue Crabs looking to split the doubleheader. And the count 0-1, and now I'm not quite sure what the deal is, but the home plate umpire, Greg Losh, just sort of stepped out and pointed somewhere as the pitch is fouled back and the count 0-2. I don't think it was a warning, but it might have been. It was a player for the Dirty Birds who was thrown out back in Game 1 by Andy McPherson. It sounded like he had just made a bad call, and it was Nick Heath who was giving him a few words. Pitch popped up foul, third base side, and the count remains 0-2. And McPherson was quick to throw him out, and then here in game 2, I mean, somehow he's managed to do worse as the third base umpire than as at home plate. I mean, you don't make many calls over there, but he's done it. Count 0-2 on Casimo Canella. 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball. It's a good one, but it bounces low in the dirt. Count 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 1 out. Charleston, West Virginia, the capital of the state of West Virginia, and the state capitol building out in the right field corner. And the pitch, that's rope foul, third base side. Now we got to get the toast man back involved here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Thompson, the count 1-2 on Casimo Canella. Blue Crabs all over the Charleston Dirty Birds 4-0. 1-2. Oh, it was very close. Called inside in the count 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. And the pitch. That's away. Count 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out on Casimo Canella, who hits .231. Hasn't had all that much action this year for the Dirty Birds. And the 3-2 from Thompson. Swinging a ground ball through the left side. It's a base hit. First hit for Charleston since the 2nd inning. It's the first base runner as well after Thompson had 1, 2, 3 innings in both the 3rd and the 4th. As we close in on midnight on the East Coast.
Now batting, right fielder, number 15.
We thank everybody who is still watching for sticking with us on a Tuesday evening, midnight. I know it's late. If you're on the West Coast, you got a couple extra hours, but even still, it's a late night here in Charleston, West Virginia. And the pitch, check swing. He certainly went that time, though. And the count 0-1. But it's Daryl Thompson who's making these Dirty Birds batters earn their bases. He's not giving away free passes. Hasn't walked a batter yet. As Miles Williams, the 0-1, swinging a high pop-up, shallow right. It's Braxton Lee who jogs in, tracks it, makes the catch for the 2nd out. 2 away in the bottom of the 5th.
Single alert and 40.
And Matt Hopeful says, Austin, please catch me a piece of toast. You know, Matt, I'm going to do my best.
Whoa.
Well, we're going to have to see who we're going to interview for tomorrow's pregame show. Have to see who had the biggest games, either at the plate or on the mound. Daryl Thompson is certainly making a case for it here in the 5th. Haven't interviewed Thompson yet on the pregame show, so we'll have to see if we can get him. Pitch on the ground over to 3rd, fielded by Crosby. He'll toss to 2nd for the initial out and the final out here in the 5th inning. As Daryl Thompson escapes the 5th, allowing 1 hit. The Dirty Birds, Fernando Bratter on first base at the end of 5. It's the Blue Crabs who have a 4-0 lead on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Alex Crosby, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
At Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, mortgages are what they do, not who they are. Fairway Mortgage Corporation is a proud partner of the American Warrior Initiative. A key part of this initiative is to educate, encourage, and inspire Americans to give back to our military. Visit their website at www.americanwarriorinitiative.com for more details. Our military fought to protect the American dream. Let's help them live it. Well, Alex Crosby will get things started in the top of the 6th inning. A 7-inning ball game. The pitch, big wave and a miss. And a count 0-1. And Alex Crosby, and Crosby hitting .283 on the season. Pitch, line drive, one hopper over to shortstop. It's fielded by Diego Goris, who fires to first, and there is one out.
Bingo alert, G53. Now batting center fielder number 8, Zach Collier.
And Zach Collier will dig in from the left side. The Collier followed by DeLuca. Casey Grimm has now gone an inning and a third, and the pitch on the ground over toward first base slowly, and it's going to roll foul. And the count 0-1 now on Zach Collier. It'll then be DeLuca who will come to the plate. Blue Crabs 4 runs on 5 hits here in the 6th inning. Sundberg 0 for 2. It's Baca who's 1 for 3. Sundberg has extended his on-base streak to 32 games with a walk. And the pitch is low and in, and the count 1-1 now on Collier. That was his 77th walk of the season. He has set a Blue Crabs record for the most walks in a single season. Also set the Blue Crabs steals record, and Sundberg has also set the Blue Crabs known on base streak record. Pitch on the ground toward first base. Edwin Espinal sprints to the bag, and there are 2 away. Unfortunately, the Atlantic League does not have official, the Blue Crabs do not have official metrics for finding out the on-base streak across the entire franchise history. But since 2019, which is the information we do have, it would be the longest on-base streak in Blue Crabs history. And maybe he's aiming for the longest one this season. Carlos Franco had a 50-game streak earlier this year. So well, Jack Sundberg is more than halfway there at 32 games. The consistency from Sundberg really sets him apart. And the first pitch is away for ball 1 on Joe DeLuca. DeLuca was hitting well from the right side earlier in this ball game. Ripped a single through the hole in between third base and shortstop. And the 1-0 pitch is foul back, count 1-1. Blue Crabs not a team that hits a ton of home runs. DeLuca takes a couple of practice swings. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Called strike, count 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 4-0 Southern Maryland over Charleston. It's Ian Yetzko on deck. Pitch, popped it up. First base side. Long run over toward the railing. He reaches and makes the catch. Edwin Espinal, not known for his fielding, ran over to the railing and makes the catch over the railing for the final out. Joe DeLuca fouls out for the final out in the top of the 6th. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. It's the Blue Crabs with a 4-0 lead over the Dirty Birds.
This is Michael Baca, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
We're back in the bottom of the 6th inning, and the pitch is a called strike on Devon Torrance. And the count 0-1 on the lefty. 0-1 pitch now. Line drive, foul back behind home plate. Count 0-2. Well, fans, those of you who remain with us as we stop by at midnight, and we appreciate your continued support. As Matt Hopeful says, Daryl is a strike-throwing machine. Pitch, ground ball right back to the mound. It's a sidearm throw to first, which is going to be in time to get Torrance, who ran with his bat halfway. Didn't really run him to first base at all, actually. Ran about a quarter of the way and then turned back. Either way, there is one out. Daryl Thompson, as Matt Hopeful says, is a strike-throwing machine. He's looking for a complete game. I think he is. He's looking for the complete game shutout here. I think he's got a good shot at getting it if he can continue to pitch the way he has thus far. Thompson has only thrown 69 pitches across 5 1/3 innings. So if you do some math and figure out, okay, well, how many pitches would it be over 7 innings as the first pitch is up and away and the count 1-0. 5 1/3 is about 3/4 the way through. In fact, if you want to get technical, at 16 outs out of 21. It's a little more than 3/4. Pitch, line drive towards center field. Collier took a step in, now steps over to left center. He makes the catch, and there are 2 away. So 71 pitches now after facing Scott Kelly, and he's pitched 5 2/3 innings, so 17 out of 21. So you're looking at about 80% right there. A little more than 80%. He's only thrown 71 pitches, so that would put him on track for about 85 or 86 pitches through a 7-inning ball game. So Thompson has been very economical tonight. And the first pitch, swing and a miss, count 0-1. Thompson has gone 5 2/3 so far. He has allowed 3 hits. He has struck out 4, but the contact's been weak. That's one of the bigger factors tonight. The Blue Crabs really haven't hit the ball that hard themselves tonight as the 1-0 pitch is fouled off first base side, count 1-1. There have been a couple balls hit, about 94, 95. The Blue Crabs really haven't hit the ball hard at all. It's been a lot of soft contact. In fact, the Blue Crabs had the bottom 8 contacts today, bottom 9 contacts. With that said, Thompson really hasn't allowed a lot of hard contact himself. 1-1 pitch is fouled off first base side, count 1-2. Braxton Lee actually had one of the softer contacts with a double, but a lot of the other ones are pop-outs or singles or ground-outs. 1-2 pitch on the ground toward third. Crosby on the run. He fires across the diamond. It is in time. Daryl Thompson continues to be extremely economical. 4 pitches to retire Bertram. He's thrown 75 pitches across 6 innings. And the Charleston Dirty Birds remain off the board. It's the Blue Crabs 4 and the Dirty Birds nothing on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Ian Yetzko, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Are you in the market for a new roof? Well, give William Richmond Inc. a call and get serviced by Southern Maryland's premier roofing contractor. Locally owned and operated, William Richmond Inc. is licensed, bonded, and insured and has a 5-star rating on HomeAdvisor. They care about their work almost as much as they care about your home. Call 443-432-3426 today for a free estimate or go to WilliamRichmondInc.com. Don't forget to mention the Blue Crabs and save 10% on any service. Come stay at the Holiday Inn Express Waldorf, where teamwork makes the dream work. A proud sponsor of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs and your home away from home. The Holiday Inn Express is located at 11,370 Days Court. That's 11370 Days Court, Waldorf, near the Waldorf Shoppers World Shopping Center. Call 301-932-9200 to make a reservation.
Now batting second baseman number 7, Ian Yetzko.
And here comes Ian Yetzko in the top of the 7th inning. And Yetzko will be followed by Baca and Sundberg. I beg your pardon, be followed by Falsetti and Sundberg. And the first pitch, called strike, and the count 0-1. Ruben Garcia is the new pitcher. He has a 7.94 earned run average. 0-1 pitch. And it's a big wave and a miss. Count 0-2 on Yetzko. And Ruben Garcia throws pretty hard, 90-92. And Yetzko, who is 1 for 2 with an RBI double, now behind in the count 0-2. Garcia, the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, power of fastball by him. And strike 3. And Yetzko is a pretty good fastball hitter. So a little surprising he went down that time around, but he's now 1 for 3 on the day, or in game 2, I should say. Falsetti steps in. And the first pitch, swing and a miss, and the count 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out on Mike Falsetti. Hitting 196 on the year, the catcher. No more for his play behind the plate than his play at the plate with the bat, but this time he swings and lines one toward right field. A sliding play out and right, and Miles Williams makes the catch for the second out. Couple outs in the top of the 7th as Jack Sundberg will step in.
Left fielder number 9, Jack Sundberg.
Sundberg kicks around some dirt in the lefty batter's box. Re-straps his batting gloves. And Ruben Garcia comes set. Garcia's only thrown 5 pitches in the inning, 5 strikes, a strikeout, and a ground out, or a line out, I should say. And the pitch, that's a swing, a called strike, I beg your pardon, count 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. All Blue Crabs here in Game 2, 4-0. They scored 3 in the first, and that's all it's taken. We're going to give you some scores from around the Atlantic League after this pitch. We'll stay here if we have to. Ruben Garcia, the 0-1. Line drive foul. One right over the dugout, and the count 0-2. Well, York tops Staten Island 3-2. Between a pair of teams who will not be competing in the playoffs. Lexington over Wild Hill 5-1. And in the other series, it is Long Island on top of Lancaster 7-6. So with that in mind, let's take a look at the Atlantic League standings here and what that means for the wild card. If the Blue Crabs hold on and win today, they would be back within 4 games of Lancaster. 0-2 pitch. Upstairs, count 1-2 on Sundberg. Long Island Ducks are 6 games back from the wild card. It lists Lancaster as the wild card, but they're not really the wild card right now. It would be Kentucky, or I beg your pardon, High Point, who has the best record outside of Gastonia, as Lancaster currently leads the division, so they wouldn't be a wild card team right now. Count 2-2 as the 1-2 misses to Sundberg away. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. So it's High Point first, Kentucky a half game back, and Long Island 4.5 back. Behind them, it's York, who are 10.5 back, Charleston 13 back, Lexington 14 back, and Staten Island 22 out. Pitch popped it up foul behind home plate. And the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes it remains. In the North Division, Lancaster has a 4.5 game lead over Southern Maryland in the second half. Blue Crabs would move to 28-20 with a win here in Game 2. Lancaster would go 32-16. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Pitch. Line drive foul. Third base side. Out of play toward the roof. The Southern Maryland Blue Crabs have a 4-0 lead in the top of the 7th. 3 runs back in the top of the first. That's the major difference right now. Blue Crabs got a couple guys on, and a single from Baca, then a double down the line from Braxton Lee, single from Crosby to score Lee, 2-2 pitch fought off by Sundberg, count 2-2 it remains. And then from there, the Blue Crabs went to Ian Yetzko, who drove an RBI double to the wall in left center, gave the Blue Crabs a 4-0 lead. The bats are coming along. They struggled at times this past weekend despite the sweep. Blue Crabs win tonight. They will have won 4 of their last 5 games. And they will turn to Alcis Herrera tomorrow. Two-two pitch. Low and in, ball 3. Awfully close. The pitcher, Ruben Garcia, thought he had strike 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 12:15 in the morning. looks like they're going to have a discussion. And Baca trying to explain to the home plate umpire.
Hey, go after him. Go after him, buddy.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And not quite sure what the disagreement was about. And no matter what happened, I guess we're ready to go now. I couldn't quite tell what Baca and Sundberg were arguing over, but whatever it was, it I guess has subsided. 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Hard fastball, and he blows it by Sundberg, and that ends the top of the 7th inning. And the Blue Crabs still have a 4-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Blue Crabs still up by 4.
This is Ryan Haug, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Edwin Espinal will get things started in the bottom of the 7th inning. Daryl Thompson back out on the mound. He's only thrown 75 pitches. First pitch is low and away in the count, 1 ball and no strikes. There's no action in the Blue Crabs bullpen because Stan Clyburn is relying upon Daryl Thompson to get the job done for a complete game. Pitch 1-0 is a called strike in the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike, nobody out on Edwin Espinal. Here's the pitch. Line drive right at the first baseman, Joe DeLuca, who snags it about a foot off the ground on the forehand side. And there's 1 away. Well, it doesn't hurt when your fielders pick you up a little bit as well. Daryl Thompson has thrown 78 pitches to go 6 1/3 as Alfredo Gonzalez will dig in.
Third baseman, number 10, Alfredo Gonzalez.
Alfredo Gonzalez hitting .280 on the year. And the first pitch. Big swing and a miss at a fastball. It was a little bit lower in the count, 0-1. A 1 delivery now from Thompson. Breaking ball. That one bounces in front of home plate and then deflects off of Falsetti.
Strikes.
Bounces about 15 feet back into the air. apologize for the other sounds. And the pitch, this one headed back up the middle for a base hit. Alfredo Gonzalez singles.
That's the hit by the Serpro cleanup hitter, Alfredo Gonzalez.
And Alfredo Gonzalez singles up the middle. It's a base hit. And there is a runner on first base with one out, as Diego Goris will dig in.
Number 8, Diego Goris.
Diego Goris digs in with one out in the bottom of the 7th inning. So far, 6 1/3 for Thompson. 4 strikeouts, and the pitch is low and away, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. 12:20 in the evening. One-0 pitch on the ground, third base side. Fielding the backhand by Crosby to second for 1. Back on to first, not in time. A fielder's choice, and the Blue Crabs get the lead out at second. There are 2 away now in the bottom of the 7th inning. Daryl Thompson 1 out away from the complete game shutout. And it's Cosimo Canella who will dig in.
Now batting, left fielder, number 24.
Diego Goris on first base.
Canella.
Cosimo Canella. And Daryl Thompson says, I need a new baseball. This one's not cutting it. Thrown 83 pitches across 6 2/3. The Blue Crabs needed a complete game shutout, or just a complete game really, out of Thompson. And he's given them everything they could have asked for. A low pitch count, 6 2/3 innings. 4 hits, 4 strikeouts, no walks up until this point. And his fielders have really stepped up as well. Thompson, first pitch. Fastball low, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. Thompson doesn't overpower anybody. He throws 87 to 89. He might touch 90 and 91 every once in a while. I'll give you his breakdown on his velocity tonight. Yeah, 90.1 is his maximum. And the 1-0 pitch inside, count 2-0. Those are the hardest pitches tonight. He's had 5 that have been 90 plus. For the most part, he's 87 to 89 though. 2-0 pitch to Canella. On the ground, third base side. Is it a foul ball? It is a foul ball. Oh, that was really close. And no argument from Billy Horn. I guess he is in agreement. Count 2 balls and a strike now on Cosimo Canella. Hard hit ball, would have been extra bases. Probably would not have scored the run though. But if Canella can get on base, all of a sudden you're in a little bit of a different situation. It's important that Thompson can settle down and work around Canella in that 1-out base hit, 2-1 pitch, swing and a miss, count 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Thompson 1 strike away from that complete game shutout, with the Blue Crabs ahead by 4 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Southern Maryland looking to move to 28-20 on the season, splitting the doubleheader against the Charleston Dirty Birds. And the 2-2. Swinging a line drive, very well struck left field line. That ball is a foul ball. Close again, but again, a foul ball down that third base line. That was certainly the hardest and best hit ball by a Dirty Bird against Daryl Thompson. And it comes on what was almost one of the last pitches of this ball game. It could be. And Canella is still down to the final strike here, and Thompson with a very comfortable 4-run lead. If Canella were to get on base, then the tying run would then come on deck. So it's right now in the hole. So there's quite a ways to go for the Dirty Birds, who have mustered 4 total hits today off of Thompson. 2-2 pitch. Swinging a pop-up foul behind home plate, and the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. One of the deeper at-bats that Thompson's had to work all day, as he will throw his 90th pitch of the start. Thompson also pitching on only 4 days rest. Last pitch on Wednesday. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Ground ball through the left side. It's a base hit. Cannella singles. And all of a sudden, things are getting a little more interesting now. With 2 on and 2 out, the Dirty Birds have the tying run on deck. So Cosimo Cannella singles to left field. And that brings up Miles Williams. And there, get this. Miles makes a smile chant going, but he is 0 for 2 here in game 2. Pitch is popped up foul behind home plate. Blue Crabs 4 runs on 5 hits. For Charleston, no runs on 5 hits. Blue Crabs have gotten somewhat fortunate that their hits came in bunches. 3 hits in the first inning. They've had just 2 hits since then. They also came in bunches. That was back in the 4th on the RBI double from Ian Yetzko. Breaking ball, swinging a high pop-up in the infield. This should do it. It is the third baseman, Crosby, who drifts over towards the shortstop area and makes the catch for the final out. Daryl Thompson, a complete game 7-inning shutout of the Charleston Dirty Birds. And the Blue Crabs are winners 4-0. They split the doubleheader with the Dirty Birds. And the Blue Crabs move to 28-20 with the win. For the Blue Crabs to make Atlantic League history, they'd have to finish the season 14-4 in the final 18 games to set the best record in Atlantic League history. It's possible. It's a tough road, but definitely possible for the Blue Crabs. But they have to start with winning the final 2 games of this series as well. As the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs bullpen is back up and rolling sort of the way they'd like it, with Dykstra and with Baker, the 2 of them shining. And even with Briseño out, this bullpen is still surviving. At least the top end is. The rest of the bullpen, well, there isn't much of it. The Blue Crabs have 2 other arms. They got Cody Strayer, who's worked hard this year, and he's getting himself back to the place where he could be a really valuable asset here. But he's still sort of working toward that spot as the velocity up toward the upper 80s now. And Dario Polanco, who's been one of those stable guys throughout the course of the season that's eaten innings, but it's really just the 2 of them for now who are available tomorrow. I'd have to imagine Dykstra and Baker will have to go on short rest, or virtually no rest for that matter, because the Blue Crabs only have 4 healthy arms on this road trip out of the bullpen. But you got to make it work any way you can. I guess that's the way the Blue Crabs will make it work. Alcis Herrera gets the ball tomorrow for Southern Maryland. Let's run through the box score here in game 2 before we sign off. Sundberg 0 for 3. He does extend his on-base streak to 32 games with an initial walk. Michael Baca 1 for 3, a run scored. That came back in the first. Braxton Lee was 1 for 2. He had 2 RBIs. He had a run scored as well. David Harris 1 for 3. Alex Crosby is 1 for 2, an RBI and a walk along with a run scored. Zach Collier 0 for 3. Joe DeLuca 0 for 3. And Ian Yetzko 1 for 3 with an RBI. Mike Falsetti was 0 for 3. On the mound, Daryl Thompson, 7 innings of work, 5 hits, no runs, 4 strikeouts, and he moves to 13-3 on the year. His scoring plays in today's ball game. Braxton Lee had the 2 RBI double as it just tiptoed that third baseline in fair territory, and the Blue Crabs took a 2-0 lead on the ground ball the other way. Alex Crosby singled on a ground ball to right. It scored Braxton Lee, gave the Blue Crabs a 3-0 lead, and Ian Yetzko doubled on a fly ball to left center that he smoked off the bat, nearly got out of here, and it gave the Blue Crabs a 4-0 lead at the time. That would be your final score. Blue Crabs winners tonight 4-0, as Southern Maryland will be back in action tomorrow at 6:35 p.m. for Game 3 of this 4-game set between the Blue Crabs and the Charleston Dirty Birds. Well, Game 2's over. It's just a few minutes before 12:30 in the evening. This ball game really moved pretty quickly thanks to Daryl Thompson pitching incredibly well, and the Charleston pitching staff also did rather well in this one, aside from that tough first inning where the Blue Crabs scored 3 runs off of Max Tannenbaum. That'll do it from us here on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. We wish everybody a terrific evening. Thanks so much for tuning in for both these broadcasts. For those of you who are still with us, have a terrific evening, and as always, we sign off with Let's Go Blue Crabs.